Hello and welcome. I am Monica Ray, and I am so grateful that you have decided to spend the next half an hour with me as I share with you what it is I do in the online space, why I do it, how I do it, and how it could potentially look for you too if you were to go down this path like I have. So I'm going to share some slides with you in a moment, and and then we're going to just dive straight in because as a busy mama, I know how valuable my time is, and I want to respect your time too. So bear with me while I share my screen with you. Okay, so I want to start by firstly acknowledging you for being here. And as a first step, what I would love for us to do is to take a couple of really intentional breaths together. So I invite you to put your hand on your heart with me and take a really big inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And one more. And what I invite you to do is to arrive fully here with me. I invite you to let go of whatever it took for you to get here into this moment to this masterclass. Just let that go. I also invite you to let go of anything that is yet to unfold in your day or in your evening. Just be here right now. Open yourself up to the possibility of where this could take you. Open your mind to the potential of where this could lead you in 3 to 5 years. And firstly, I want to start by a question that you can see on the screen right here. And that is, what is happening in your world right now that has you curious about this opportunity? What is it that's got you curious to explore and potentially diversify your income? Maybe you are burnt out at work. Maybe you just want to be a more present mama with your kids. That's what I wanted. Maybe you're bored shitless. I was that too, actually. um, what is it that has got you here today and got you curious about learning more about this space? Really drop into that. And I invite you to grab a pen and paper. And if you don't have one, take a moment now, pause, take a moment and go and grab one. Because what I would invite you to do over the next half an hour is write down a few of the things, a few of the concepts, and a few of the downloads that you will have while you watch this. And the first one is this. What is it that's got you curious? What is happening in your world right now? So, who am I? I am I'm many things. And if we haven't met before, hello, I'm Monica Ray. That's my name. And I am an ex-corporate. So I worked corporate for the longest time. And from the outside looking in, I was like successful, right? I had the nice office, I had the 2.5 kids, I had a great pay packet, and I was wildly successful in my career. And I actually loved my job. Um, I was great at it. I felt validated by it. And then I got pregnant with my third babe, Macy, who you can see in that picture there. Loving Nicole, by the way, in that picture. And when I fell pregnant with Mace, I realized that the corporate structure that I had found myself in wasn't really allowing me to be the present mama, the conscious mama that I had always thought I would be in, the motherhood journey. And it led me down a path of self-discovery, and I trained to be a life coach in between working full time, and I studied energetics and somatics, and then I opened my own business. And I did this all uh, while I was pregnant and in the lead up to having my third baby. And I thought I had it all pegged. I thought maybe I would go back to work and open a business and do it part time because I still loved my job, and I thought I had it sort of pre-planned about where my path was going to take me until I went back to work, and I was back at work for 4 months, and Mace had just turned 1. And we actually went through a absolute disaster. We overnight became homeless because we had a huge amount of rain in a really short amount of time, and our drainage couldn't cope here in my beautiful home that you see. And so overnight, our home had flooded and the water had come up from the drains, and it was awful. It had been deemed unlivable because it had mold, black mold all through it. We had lost all of our stuff, or 95, 85% of our stuff. I'd lost my car. My car had flooded, and we were homeless overnight. So we got put up in a caravan park. And for the next 6, 7, even I think it was even 8 weeks, we got moved from caravan park to caravan park. And it was a lot. And I realized at that moment that I couldn't worry about my job. So, I'd resigned from that, and very quickly I realized that I couldn't focus on my coaching business either. Uh, we ended up moving into an Airbnb, and it was 45 minutes from where my two boys go to school. And so I was driving 45 minutes to drop them off, 45 minutes home. I had a couple of hours where I was on the phone to insurance companies and, taking care of my own mental health, and then driving back to school and picking them up and driving back to our Airbnb. And I did that for a year. A whole year we were out of our home. And, when we got into our Airbnb, I still didn't really have the energetic capacity to really pour into my coaching business in the way that I wanted to. So I started to really look at different ways to make money. And that's when I came across this opportunity. And, at that point in time, it wasn't the right time. We were homeless in, any better sense of the word. We had lost all of our staff, and it really wasn't the right time to invest in another business. However, I could see with the products that I'm about to go through with you in a minute, I could see how amazing they were. And I wanted that in my home, wherever we were, because it's actually a portable thing. So first and foremost, I needed the products. And then, if once we were really settled again, I wanted to pick up the business, then I had that in my back pocket. And I could see where it could lead me in 3 to 5 years from where I was at that point. So, so pretty much the rest is history. I decided to invest. I bought the products. I love the products, and you'll see why in a minute when I go through what they are. And after about a year of being back in our home, so a year to the day we moved back into our home, we had to rebuild the entire inside of our house, redo the floors, the bathrooms, our entire kitchen, everything. And about 18 months ago, I decided to actually step into the business properly because I had the energetic capacity to do so. And from there, I've just thrived. I have had multiple 5-figure months. I have a thriving team that is also having huge success. And I'm just so excited to share with you this business model, because I had honestly looked for something like this for years. And believe me when I say I went down all the rabbit holes. I went down the Amazon drop shipping. I went down the digital courses, rabbit hole. I went down so many different things. Toy production was even another one that I went down. And this by far is the biggest return on investment that I have ever seen. And more than that, it has actually allowed me to be the present mum that I actually set out to be at the beginning of the whole journey. So what I'm going to share with you today is actually the 3-step strategy that I now use and I now teach. I've got like a hair in my face. And that I now teach that has allowed me to step into this new paradigm of business. So I'm going to be going through who, I'm going to be going through the company and the product that I leverage. I'm going to be going through the what, so how I get paid and why it's uncapped and what that actually means. And I'm also going to be talking about the how. I'm going to be talking about how I'm able to upskill with education and teach this to others. I'm going to be talking about the strategy and I'm going to be talking about the community because honestly, the community is one of the most beautiful things that I didn't realize I needed until I was in this space. And it's so beautiful because they have held me in my lowest of lows during that flood period. And now that I am in momentum and thriving, they're holding me again in that same beautiful way. And I just can't speak highly enough of them. So I'm going to be talking about that too. So bear with me a second. I just have to plug in my laptop. So I'm just going to move you around a little bit. So bear with me. Probably should have thought about this before I pressed go, but anyway. Oh, all righty. There we go. And I'm going to move here. You'll be able to see me a little bit better. Close that up. Okay. And I trust that you can still see me okay. So when I said before capped versus uncapped, this is basically what I'm talking about. And I won't go through all of those things because you can see them there for yourself. But I wonder which sort of camp you sit in right now. Because when I worked corporate, I was absolutely in the capped income side of things. And that meant, I mean, I was working in higher education and I was in middle management and in a company. Well, it was a non-for-profit. I was in a non-for-profit that trained doctors to be GPs, and my income was absolutely capped. I was on a good income, but it was capped. And in order to earn more, I had to get promoted, and I did do that a few times. But I couldn't just make more money. It also meant that I had limited time off. I was actually in that industry when the big COVID hit, and I was honestly attached to my computer all of the time from 8:30 in the morning until 7, 8, sometimes even 9 o'clock at night. I was in meetings and meetings and meetings and meetings, and I could not get away. And I just watched, I think back and I just watched the washing like take over my home because I didn't have time. I didn't have the time to do any of that stuff because I was constantly in meetings and on Zoom. It drove me insane. Yeah, and I needed to stay there in order to get paid. I need to stay in the Zoom room. Yeah, and so even in my coaching, because I obviously started my coaching business, I had very little profit in that business. I was reliant on myself and I didn't have the capacity, like I mentioned before, to really give into that business as much as I wanted to. Versus, and this is the uncapped income side of the uncapped income business strategy, where now I work less. I actually work less. I work 2 hours tops a day. And I do that around my kids. And I earn a lot of money. And I can't make income claims. And everything I say here is genuinely a representation of what I've been able to achieve. And everyone's results will vary and all of those disclaimer type things. However, I can tell you from my experience, I have earned more with this business model, which is really, really cool. It also has afforded me time freedom because, like I said before, I'm now able to work around my kids. I drop them off, I pick them up, I go along to the Easter hat parade, all of the things. And I could never do that when I worked in corporate and I had a traditional business structure. I remember one time I had a client, this is when I was doing my energetic work, which I still do from time to time. And I remember my little boy was unwell and I had to call up this client and say, I'm so sorry. I can't, I can't see you today because my little boy's unwell. And they never came back. And it just, it really hit me because, obviously my family will always come first. And yeah, I suppose that's the risk that you take when you provide a service. Uh, yeah, so, and there's a few other things there. One of the other things I wanted to quickly mention there is the automated leveraged business. Um, I had never, ever come across something like this before I came into this space. And to be completely honest, I didn't even understand really the power of what I was saying yes to when I said yes. I just wanted the product. However, now being in the business for 18 months, like solidly, there was a 6-week period where we were all super duper unwell. I had extremely low iron and I was really, really unwell. And I was really fatigued and I couldn't do a lot for a good period of time there. I think it was like 6, 8 weeks. And I was able to actually rest. I was able to go and see professionals to help me with that condition. I was still able to drop the kids off and do all of those things. And then I came home and I was able to rest. And I earned more, or I had one of my biggest months I've ever had in this business model during that time. And I actually wasn't able to do my couple of hours of work. Or I did like maybe one day and then I wouldn't do it for a couple of days because I was just too exhausted. So that's what I mean when I talk about an automated leveraged business model. And I'll go into that a little bit more. So I wonder, and write down here what's coming up for you. Where do you see yourself? And where would you like to see yourself? Okay, so I'm going to share now about the incredible plug and play business model that I have decided to partner with. I have decided to partner with Enagic. And I'm going to just share with you a little bit more about what Enagic is, who Enagic is, and why I am so proud to be affiliated with this business. So Enagic is a 51-year-old Japanese water technology company. It is a business that has already been built. It has stood the test of time. And if you know anything about Japanese culture, they're real long-term visionaries. And Enagic actually have a 500-year business plan. One of the other things about Enagic that I just really love is that it's really in line with my values. One of the Enagic mission statement is a testament for standing really strongly for true health and wealth globally. And when I went to Japan, I actually went to Japan in June last year, met the founder of the company, went and experienced the magic of being in Okinawa, which is where Enagic was founded. And I really got such a strong sense of connection with the shared values between myself and Enagic. They help fund schools over there. One of the things that we sell is Ukon. It's a turmeric supplement, and it's actually grown at the school. And they teach the kids about irrigation and about farming, and it's so beautiful. And it really solidified for me that this is actually a family-run business. Up on the stage was Mr. Oshiro, who's the founder, and his wife, and he actually brought all of his family up onto the stage and said to us, and said, this is our business, and to all of the audience, this is our business. And it was really beautiful. I'm literally getting goosebumps thinking about it. The next thing is how incredible the business model is. Yes, the values are really, really aligned. And the products are actually patented. And so is the compensation plan. So I don't know if you're familiar with any other network marketing or direct selling business models. I wasn't really before I learned about this, but you might be. You have a look. I'm going to show you a little bit of the numbers soon because you will not have seen anything like this. It's a patented product and it's a patented compensation plan. It's also the only water ionizer globally that has a Japanese medical grade certification. And what that means is like the Japanese, to get a Japanese certification, it's one of the strictest compliance models in the world. And they've got a medical grade certification for this product. One of the other things I really love about this business model is that it is a global business. So I have distribution rights in over 85 countries, and Enagic have local offices in over 50 countries. And if you're in Australia, our office is in Sydney. And, you know, let me know where you're from, and I will point you to one of the local offices near you. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is the actual industry, because this is a $2 billion industry. And Enagic is set to, we call it the diamond decade. And we are about, so we're here and we're like, here's $2 billion by you. And we are expected to grow like this exponentially in the next 2 years. So we're expected to grow to over $2 billion in the next 2 years. So the actual products are OEM, which means original equipment manufacturers. So what that means is, and this was particularly valid during COVID, was that Enagic actually own the entire supply chain. So when I went to Japan and I went to Okinawa, they actually make every single thing on site. So they own the distribution, sorry, they own the manufacturing rights to every single part within the product. So they're not relying on, global shipping or anything like that. It's all done in-house. And the other thing that I think is really cool is that we are in the downline of one of the top income earners within the Enagic space who has taken the business online and has automated it to the world. So what that means is we actually get to learn from literally the best leaders in this business. So let's talk a little bit. I want to talk a little bit more about Enagic because I just love it. So these certifications that you can see here, these are the ISO certifications. These are the gold standards for quality control and environmental impact. And these have been granted to Enagic for this product. And we're going to go into why in a little bit, but basically these don't come very easily. And, these products that I'm going to talk about, they are literally changing the game in terms of our environmental impact that we are having on the world, in terms of our health, and in terms of quality control, because some of the best athletes in the world have these products. And what Enagic's vision is that, yes, some of the best athletes in the world can have this, but so can everyday people like you and I. And that's what makes this so, so beautiful. So why Enagic? There is supposed to be a picture there, but that's okay. So again, if you're familiar with other network marketing or direct sales models, this will mean something to you. It didn't really mean much to me, but again, I hadn't heard of affiliate marketing before in the past. But there are no monthly targets. You are not required to meet a quota every single month to maintain your position in the business. There's no deranking. So as an example, that 6-week period that I took off, I was earning a certain amount of commission, and I didn't make any sales in that time directly myself. So in some other structures, that would have meant that I would have gone back to the beginning. However, with Enagic, there's no deranking. So I was able to maintain that status. And when I picked up the business again, I picked up the status that I was already at, which is really cool. So it's a high ticket offer. And what that means is we actually earn a lot of money back on our investment. So when we share these products, we will get paid a commission when someone invests in them, and we get paid a really high percentage. So we get paid out over 57%. So blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I've talked about that. So time leveraged coaching with our educational platform. And I'm going to talk about this in a little bit as well. So this has been an absolute game changer for me because as a coach who was trying to build my business outside of the corporate life, I was overwhelmed with so much information. And if you have been in the coaching space, you will totally understand what I'm talking about when I say that. What the difference is with this is it's literally a step-by-step process. It is coaching. You get coached, you have access to so many different types of education, and it really teaches you step by step how to build this business. And we're also not reliant on leaders to rank advance. There's the picture. So that's the beautiful ionizer that I'm talking about. So let's talk about it. So what does it do, firstly, and why do I love it so much? So this is the flagship ionizer. This is the Level Up K8. And this product produces various types of, and I might get a bit sciencey, but bear with me, just because I love it. So what it does is it produces electrolyzed reduced water. And that is Enagic's unique selling point. It creates various types of different pH balanced water. And the main unique selling point is that it creates electrolyzed reduced water. It's not a filter. It has a filter inside of it. And I have actually tested water local to me with a device called a spin test machine. So I have tested my water before going through the K8 and after going through the K8. And I know that it takes out all of the chlorine, it takes out a lot of the heavy metals. And if this is something of interest to you, please let me know because I can go through other things you can do before the water actually goes through the K8 in order to keep the K8 at its, the water going through the K8 at a premium. So yeah, it's not just a water filter. It is a medical grade water ionizer that produces electrolyzed reduced water. And there are so many studies on PubMed and Google Scholar. There's so much research around the benefits of how good this water, this restructured water is for our bodies. So why? Because it's rich in molecular hydrogen. Of the 10 top diseases we face in modern day society, molecular hydrogen is known to help at least 8 of them. And why is it so good? Because it's microclustered molecules. So it hydrates our cells deeply. It is able to penetrate through the cell membrane and hydrate every single one of our cells really deeply. It promotes DNA and RNA. It promotes proteins and cell membranes to regenerate. And it also has a huge positive impact on our mitochondria. The other thing with this water is that it's high negative charge, which is the ORP. It's oxidative reduction potential. So what that means is basically it acts like an antioxidant. And you know what, I'll just move to the next slide because I think the visual will be good. So I will talk about this one and then I might go back to, come on. Okay, well, let's just stay here then. So what are the, okay, my computer's just having a bit of a freak, but that's okay. So we'll just, oh, hang on. Let's go back here. Okay, so let's talk about, I just mentioned that it's super hydrating, that it is super fast for our bodies to absorb this type of water, which means that, rather than drinking loads of water and not feeling hydrated, what this is doing is it's actually regenerating all of our cells, truly hydrating us at a cellular level. It's acting like an antioxidant. So it's actually scavenging free radicals in your body through the electrolyzed reduced water. It is also alkalized. So it's not alkaline, it's been alkalized. And see this little section here. So this section here of the appliance actually has several, I think it's eight tectonic plates that actually negatively charge. So the water goes through it like this, and it negatively charges the water. It splits the water into negative and positive ions, and that's what that's how it creates the different types of pHs. So the drinking water has been alkalized, and that acts like an antioxidant. So it helps to improve the immune system, it helps our body to absorb nutrients, and it helps to fight aging. So let's talk about dehydration and oxidization, because this is something that, you know, we may have learnt in year 7 science, but let's be honest, none of us retained that information, right? So we know that in today's lifestyle, we are surrounded by free radicals and toxins. And you can see from the list there some of those things. So, you know, UV rays, stress, viruses and bacteria, alcohol, lack of sleep, processed foods. Like, there is an array of things that we are fighting against every day. Some of them are out of our control. You know, like, we can't really control a lot of the pollution and the smoke in our environment. We can't always control the EMFs that we're exposed to when we're out and about. We can control, however, some of these things. And let's talk about the effects of oxidative stress, because as you can see with the banana icon there, you know, as we go through oxidative stress, it ages our cells, it deteriorates our cells. And what this water does is it helps to regenerate the cells from within. So it's almost like you see this oxidative stress icon down here. What the water does is it actually goes into the cell and reverses the damage from these free radicals. So it actually helps to move us back into a state of homeostasis. So let's talk about some of the other products that we have. Honestly, the K8 is hands down the best investment I have ever made in my family's life. But there are a couple of others, and the other products that we have that I recommend when we talk about investing in something like this is the Inespa. So the Inespa is an in-shower remineralizer. And what it does is it actually remineralizes the water, and it's got 2 filters inside of it. It's got a charcoal filter, and it's got another filter inside it as well. And it removes all of the chlorine, and it removes a lot of the heavy metals. So, you know, it's great to be drinking high quality water, but then if we're just showering in chlorine, it kind of doesn't really make sense, right? So the Inespa is an incredible investment for your hair, for your skin, which is our biggest organ. And again, I can't make medical claims. However, my son, my eldest, who is now 9, he suffers from eczema, and he gets it particularly bad on his legs, in his upper thighs. And when we first got the Inespa, he had it really badly. It cleared up within a week of him showering in the Inespa, because it was taking all of the chlorine out of the water. And now, because, you know, there are environmental factors that play into flare-ups, when he does have a flare-up now, I just get him to shower in the Inespa for a week, and it goes away. Like, it is just, it's so incredible. It makes such a difference, particularly if you have little ones. So let's talk about what we've got on the screen here. So this is the hero package. This is the K8 quad, and it includes 3 of our best-selling products. So it includes the Inespa, it includes 2 of the K8s. So one obviously for your own home and your personal use, and the other to loan out to people so that they can try this water firsthand in their own homes. And we also have the Yukon there, which I talked about before, which is a wild turmeric supplement that is organically grown and manufactured on ERW. So when we went to Japan, you could see the irrigation. It's actually been hooked up from, there's a couple of other different machines. There's a commercial ionizer as well, and the commercial ionizers are irrigated to water the Yukon with electrolyzed reduced water at the pH that they thrive in, which is actually slightly more acidic, for all my plant lovers out there. So there are so many different ways that you can start a business like this, but the hero package, starting with 4 products like in this way, really does have the most leverage. And I'm going to talk a little bit more into that, because this is what was really helpful for me when I had that time off. So I want to talk about the high return on investment strategy. So this is a realistic way to replace your income, create a really high profitable fund if you want to do that, if you want to stay at your job, just basically giving you a lot more choice, because money's great, but what does the money actually give you? The money gives you choice. And really, that's what this is all about, right? You've come here because you want more choice. You want more choice in how you show up in your life. You want more choice in whether or not you decide to work part-time or full-time. You want more choice in whether or not you want to stay home with your kiddies. You want more choice around what you choose to do with your time. So in order to have more choice, if we have more money, we can make choices that reflect the life we want to live. So this strategy really shows you how you can make really great income and what's required to do that. So with the strategy that I talked about on the last slide, this is how many sales you need to make within this business model to make 50 grand. So, and this is Australian dollars. So if you have 10 quad sales go through your business, you will have made $53,400 in commission. The next 17 quad sales earned you $105,000. 17 quad sales. Even if you were to do that over a year, what a difference an extra 100 grand would make in your life. You know, maybe you're saving. I mean, I'm saving for a new caravan. We've already got one, but I want an upgrade. Like, this is like life-changing income. And then obviously you make 23 more sales and you've made $150,000. It's truly incredible. And I'm going to go through a little bit more about what that is, because I know this is a lot of information to take in, particularly if you've never come across a business model like this before. So what happens is you invest in a product, you invest in that quad package, and actually that price has gone up. So let me just find my little thing. So it is slightly more than that. Yeah. Yeah. If you want to, oh, actually, no, hang on. No, it's not. It's $2 less. It's $17,568. And then if you, yeah, anyway, we'll go into the rest of it a bit later, but that's right. Okay, so that's the price of the investment for the startup for those 4 products. You will get back $861 from your own investment. And we can talk about finance a bit later and book in a call with me. We can go through the finance options. There are $0 down options, which means that you outlay $0 down, so you don't have any out-of-pocket expense. You then get back $860 to put on the loan that you got to buy these products, and you've paid yourself forward, right? And then you've got a couple of months to make a few sales, and you're earning back your own investment without having to have outlaid any cost. So let's talk about this. So you get $860 back from your own investment. The first 5 sales that go through you earn $21,000, almost $22,000, right? So you're already in the green. You're already in the green. You're also in over 3 grand profit. Now let this land, because this is just mind-blowing. Most businesses only go into pure profit after 3 to 5 years. Oh, I don't know what's going on here. Most businesses only go into profit after 3 to 5 years. If you make 5 sales in your business in the first month, not only have you paid back your entire investment completely, you're also in the green, over 3 grand. The next 5 sales that you make, will bring you $53,000 in commission. And by this point, you've made 10 K8 quad sales and you're maximizing the compensation plan and earning $7,400 per quad sale that you make. Let that land. You make a sale to someone with the quad package and you make almost $7,500. That's more than I made in a month in my corporate job. And I was on a good pack. I was earning very good money, right? Another 7 sales and you've got over $100,000 in commission. It's easy to see. It's so easy to see why this is so powerful, why this is patented, and why there are so many beautiful mamas and women that are jumping on board, that are seeing the potential of this business model and making it happen. So I'm not going to go into this too much. However, this is an absolute game changer if you are looking for leveraged passive income. Okay. It doesn't mean you don't have to work for it, because like any kind of business, you still have to put in the work, but this is where it can lead. So one of my beautiful mentors has just reached this rank. So she has just reached 6A2-3. Now, those numbers are not going to mean anything to you, and that's fine, but have a look at the numbers. $25,000 bonus. Now, this is USD, by the way, these figures. So 25, so it's almost 30 grand that you get as a bonus, as well as $5,000 monthly for life. And that's USD, so it's about $7,500 every single month, every month for the life of your business. And really, once you got to this point, your business is thriving and growing, whether you put in the work or not, right? Or we have this little saying where we're free at -3, right? I'm almost here. That's where I am, almost. And then I've got a pathway for where I want to see myself. And this truly, truly would change your life and your kids' lives, because it's actually willable to a loved one, to a family member, if anything was to ever happen to you. Imagine that. Imagine setting your kids up so that if anything was to happen to you, you knew that financially they would be looked after. It's beautiful. So I want to talk to you now. I want to talk into the academy, because all the numbers is great. And honestly, it's a lot to take in. So please write down notes, please write down questions that you have, and we can touch base after the masterclass. I invite you to book in a call with me. So let's talk about how I do this. So I affiliate with the Freedom Era, and this is an incredible academy. It is an online platform that teaches us how to do this in a way that makes total sense, that's digestible. So in this platform, you basically get all the skills training that you would need to build a business online or offline. You know, you don't have to do this online. I just like it because I can really automate it that way, but you don't have to do it. You don't have to be online if you don't want to. So what this training platform does is it's designed to ignite action, to foster growth, and to accelerate your business. So it allows you to set your business up powerfully from the very start of the journey. It gives you step-by-step guides in how to do things. It teaches you how to, pick a strategy that's going to work for you. It helps you to grow your business, to launch your business, to there is a dedicated sales department that do your calls for you. If you don't want to do your own calls, then you don't have to. You get to stay in your zone of genius. And honestly, this academy has been completely pivotal for me, particularly because I'm a busy mama. because I don't have time to do all that stuff. I don't have time to create funnels and landing pages and, track my lead, like all the things. Like there's so many things that go on behind the scenes of a business, marketing. Yeah, I could literally talk about that for a long time, but I won't bore you. But all of that is done for you because this is like a $3 million platform that I've decided to invest in, and I'm it's available for you too. So the commitment that we have within TFE, we call it TFE, is it's to each other and it's to the shared vision that fuels our success and our personal growth. This TFE platform is a community. It is a community of dreamers, of doers, and change makers. And we all believe in the power of collaboration, of celebrating our wins and contributing to something much bigger than ourselves through education, through automation, and through duplication. Because when you have a system that you can duplicate, you can teach others how to do it, and that's what really creates the leverage. So I ask you this, and write down what comes up for you. How would it feel if you invested in these products, right? You got to experience firsthand how incredible this water is for you and your family, like the health benefits. And like I could honestly talk about the water for a really long time, but I won't go there again. But how would it feel if you were to invest in these products and then you had a system that coached you and everyone in your business to attract and make sales? How would that feel? What would that give you? I know for me, it gave me back my time. It gave me back time because I didn't have to pour into those things like I was having to do when I had my coaching business. And here are just some little comments from the community about why they chose this model. And I don't know if you can see my little section up here, but I'll move it to there. You can see here, like these are from people in our community. I've got some of my own team in here too. This is why people have decided to come in to this business model. And I'll just let you read over those for a little minute because these are all people that like come from varied backgrounds. You've got older women, you've got men, you've got couples here from all over the world. Just having a look here, I can see, Brooke, she's in America. Fran is in Australia. Robin lives here with me. She's one of my team. We've got Queensland, Canada. Like it's a worldwide type thing. So I want to ask you this. You're probably thinking, well, who's investing in all of these products, right? You are. I did. I've helped so many families journey to better health through this water, through having this water in their lives. There was over $34 million paid out to our community last year. That's $34 million paid out to everyday people like you and me. I got a chunk of that pie. And I'll be getting another chunk of that pie this year. And I invite you to come and get it for yourself. So that wraps up the presentation. What I invite you to do now is to reach out to me, and the next step of this process is to go through a discovery process. And what that is a really beautiful unpacking of your goals, of your vision, of how this business model can help you thrive and move towards those goals and that vision. And it also gives you an opportunity to have a call with either myself or one of my colleagues. And what that call is for is so you can really understand and make an educated and empowered decision on whether or not this is right for you. Because what I see so often in this space is that, there's a lot of information to take in here. Take it in, write about it, reflect on it, book in a call, and then have a chat with me about it. Because this is where you get to make a decision. And honestly, when you walk out of this masterclass, when you close the laptop or, turn the computer off, you go back to your everyday life, right? And the thing is, when we have something that gives us an opportunity to step forward and step into the growth zone, the first thing we meet is fear, right? So know that, and know that, if you speak to other people about this opportunity, know that they haven't seen this masterclass. So they don't understand the numbers. They don't understand the success that we have in this space. They don't understand the product like I do. They don't understand the health benefits because they haven't done the research on PubMed or Google Scholar. So know that, know that when you close this laptop, and I invite you to book in a call with me, get in touch with me, and we'll have a 15-minute chat. And then at the end of that chat, I'll invite you to go through to the discovery process where you go through a high-level coaching questionnaire. You get to have that call with one of my colleagues, and you get to decide how this business can best support you and the life that you want to live. I'm so grateful for you for spending this time with me today, and I look forward to seeing you soon.